Big addition. What's up everybody, TechChucker here, and today we are doing a diorama showcase of a product that was sent to me by Rhino Dioramas.
Stick around till the end to get your exclusive TechChucker promo code for a free gift on your next order.
And they hit me up via Instagram and asked, hey, would you be interested in taking a look at this piece? And I said, heck yeah, I'll do that. That sounds awesome. So they sent this to me from Spain, and it actually got to me really quickly. So we are gonna go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look. Oh, it's not there. Here we go. Oh, that was cool. So here we go. Dude, that was so lame. Come on, it wasn't that lame.
No, yeah, that was really lame.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It was a little bit lame.
That was lame.
But get out of here, okay? We're gonna open this thing up now. All right, let's go ahead and open this thing up. Ooh, there's some other stuff in there. This is what he calls a Wallbuilder. And essentially it's just a 3D printed piece of plastic that you can use to essentially cut your bricks. So I'm gonna show you how to use this in just a minute. I think he said he's got upwards of 30 different designs for these different wall builders. But first, let's see what other goodies they included in here. So let's see. Oh, this is cool. All right, so he's got a card. Go check out Rhino Dioramas, and I believe it's rhinodioramas.com. Go check them out. Here's some more of the contact information, and I'll have that in the description as well below. So we got, looks like 2 pieces here. So this is like a drain grate. See if we can get it so that it focuses in. That is cool, and he painted it for me too, which is really awesome. Okay, so here's another very similar, but he's got some glue on here to look like water is seeping through, so it kind of gives that little bit of a watery yuck look, which is pretty cool. I just love the little rivets that I don't think I'd be able to, actually like sculpt that myself. I mean, you could try, but dang, that is super cool. Thank you so much. And there's one more piece in here. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we got another card, but oh, this is awesome. So I featured this in one of my This Week in Dioramas episodes, and it is one of his 3D printed fire hydrants, and he's painted it up too. And having this in hand, okay, you got to go check out his site. I don't think you're gonna get anything better than this. Go hit him up if you need a fire hydrant. This thing is freaking awesome. I mean, he did a phenomenal job. So the thing that I'm not gonna be able to show you here, and maybe we can do an overlay or something, is this rust that he's got on there actually looks real. And I think it's because he used what is it? It's like some sort of pigments or something that you can actually just it's like a powder of sorts, and you apply it and it gives that textured rust look. Dude, this is so cool. This is awesome. Thank you for this, and we're gonna go ahead and try this out, show you how it works, and then we'll just see what the end result is at the end. So here we go.
There's a few tools you're going to need before you get started using this wall builder. You're going to need a Sharpie or a pencil or both. You're going to need a ruler and maybe a square, framing square, a mallet or hammer, and some sort of knife, be it a X-Acto knife. I use a utility knife, and then maybe a block of wood. And that really depends on how deep you want your brick lines to go. That's pretty much all you're going to need. Another thing to note before you get started started, I highly recommend that you practice using your Wallbuilder once you get it on some scrap pieces, because you really do not want to get started on a giant piece of foam and wind up ruining it because you're just not used to it. So some of the things that you want to consider are how deep, how much pressure you're going to be using, and then lining it up so that as you are progressing on the size of your diorama piece, you are getting it lined up just right. Otherwise, you're going to get a little frustrated. So practice a lot before you really get started on your project. All right, we are finally ready to get started. What we need to do first is you kind of need to draw up what your plan is, because unless you're doing a full wall of just bricks, you're gonna need to lay out the design that you want your wall to have. So that means, are you gonna have any concrete pieces, maybe at the bottom or whatever? You need to draw that in so that you aren't putting bricks on that. And then if you're doing windows, draw out the windows, maybe even cut the windows out if need be. And the other thing to consider is sometimes, especially doors and windows, the brick design is not the standard, design that the rest of the wall is. So you want to take that into consideration too before you get started, and maybe draw that in or actually cut that in. So those sorts of designs you're probably going to need to do by hand the old school way. But this Wallbuilder is going to help you do the predominantly largest portions of your walls, which is what's going to save you your time. Alrighty, we are now ready to go ahead and get started with the Wallbuilder. So the first thing that I do is since this particular project is going to have a small concrete layer at the very bottom, what I'm going to do is cut the line like I normally would, just with my X-Acto, and then I'm going to use the pencil to widen that. And that I'm going to use that groove for the bottom of the actual Wallbuilder. Now I can line that up at the bottom, because the Wallbuilder's bottom has one groove for the bottom brick. That's your guideline. So then the next thing that you need to consider is where are you going to start? You can measure it out and validate to make sure that if you start from the edge, it's going to give you a decent sized brick on both sides, so you don't have a 2mm size brick on either end. I'm starting in the very center of the piece, and then I'm gonna work my way out. That way then I know that I'm not likely to have one of those really small bricks on either side. Once I've established exactly where I want this, I'm gonna press and hold it so that it stays put, making sure that it's perfectly level and in line with that draw line at the bottom. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take my hammer or my mallet, and I'm going to pound this thing into the actual foam. Now, if you don't want to go really deep, all you need to do is just use your hand to push it in. But if you want to go a little bit deeper, use a mallet or hammer of some sort and pound it in. You can also use a piece of wood and place that on top of the Wallbuilder, and then you pound on that piece of wood, and that will give you a little bit more uniform pressure, so that way then you're not pounding it in too far on one side versus the other. And it'll also help the longevity of the actual Wallbuilder so it doesn't fall apart as quickly. Once we've done the first press, now we need to move the template. And moving the template really is dependent on how good you did your first press. So essentially what you need to do is move it either to the right or to the left, whichever side you want to start with, and you're going to line it up with the press that you just did. So making sure that your grooves are in the right spot, and you can actually wiggle it just a little bit. If you got it deep enough, you can place it into the edge of the last grooves and kind of wiggle it, and you'll notice that it's not going to move too much. If you have that, then it is in place. And this is the part where you're going to need the most practice at getting it just right. And that's why you want to do the practice runs on, scrap pieces, so you don't mess up a really big piece. Once you've gotten good at this, then you can really move along pretty darn quickly. And all you need to do is do your first course of presses, pound it in, get those bricks in, and then we can move on to the next levels up. Moving up into the upper courses of the project should be relatively easy, but again, you need to make sure that when you place that wall builder onto the wall, you are getting the first, or maybe the first and second rows overlapping what you've already done so that you know that it's lined up. To do that, all you really need to do is try to keep track of where your center was and go up from there. Now, another thing that you could do is, rather than moving horizontally, you could do the middle section first and go all the way up, and then move to the right and do that section and move up. Just come up with your own strategy for how this is going to work. I'm going to play around with both methods at some point and see which works best for me. This is really going to speed up my process for brick building. I can guarantee it. I mean, I've already got this wall pretty well done. Going around some of the more detailed pieces might be a little bit harder. That's where you may need to actually do some hand carving. Now, I know that Rhino Dioramas is planning on selling smaller pieces so that you can do a little bit more detailed work. They're also looking to sell some larger pieces so that you don't have to do as much of the lining it up and getting it just right. Make sure you check out their site if you think it's a really cool piece that might help you with your diorama building. Rhino Dioramas is extending an exclusive deal to my viewers right now. Any order you place in the next 15 days will include a free 3D printed gift for those who include TechChucker in the order notes section at checkout. Go check out their store and order up some sweet stuff for your next dio now. There you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Go check out Rhino Dioramas. Check them out on Instagram as well. And I will see you later.